Welcome to the Magic Mindfulness Podcast, where we sprinkle a little bit of magic into your daily life. I'm your host, Rachel HUPP, and I'm so excited to set out on this mindfulness journey with you. As someone who's experienced the transformative power of mindfulness firsthand, I am here to guide you through the wonders of living a more mindful and joyful life. This podcast is your space for embracing mindfulness and cultivating a deeper connection to yourself and the world around you. Together, let's uncover the magic within and sprinkle a little extra sparkle into your day. Join me as we explore practical tips, inspiring stories, and transformative practices to help you thrive in every aspect of your life. Let's dive in and embrace the magic of mindfulness together. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Magic Mindfulness Podcast. I am your host, Rachel, and today I've got a solo episode, and I wanted to check in with you and ask you if you have been wanting to start or get back into even a regular yoga practice, but maybe you're having a hard time making it happen, because I have been there before. I know so many people who've been there or are there right now. And so if that is you, this episode is for you. Now, today I'm going to be sharing my own transformational yoga journey, some of the challenges that I noticed students facing, and how the Zen space was born. This is my online yoga and mindfulness community. Now, you probably know me by now, but if you don't, I am a certified yoga teacher. I'm also a mindfulness coach, and I've got over 20 years now, probably leaning towards 25 years of personal practice and 8 years now of teaching. And over this time, I have had the privilege of guiding countless individuals towards greater self-acceptance, greater self-awareness, greater self-love, resilience, and joy through this holistic path of yoga and coaching. It is so fun and it's so rewarding. Now, my own yoga journey actually began by accident. So I was probably 17 or 18 years old. I don't remember now, but actually maybe even 16. Anyway, I used to love practicing these home workout DVDs. Actually, I had a bunch of VHS tapes too, if that tells you anything. But I used to love working out. I've always been interested in fitness. I've always been interested in wellness for as long as I can remember. And I was so super shy and very, very, very introverted. I loved spending time alone, and I love being active. So I would go for walks. I would go for jogs. I had my own weight bench in my room, and I had a workout mat. I had a selection of dumbbells, a jump rope, and a selection of VHS tapes and DVDs. And at the time, I think I was working as a waitress in a local national park. And I would use my money oftentimes to buy new fitness DVDs or VHS tapes. And so I got this Denise Austin Pilates video, and it had a Pilates yoga hybrid session in it. And I had never tried yoga before. I loved Pilates, but I had never experienced that type of mind body connection in a workout before. I was hooked. Right off the bat, I was hooked. And so after that initial discovery, I sought out more yoga DVDs. I kept practicing yoga. At first, on my own at home, I was terrified to go out into a group setting. But eventually, I did work up the nerve to go to a studio setting. And I'll tell you what, yoga was like coming home to myself. It brought me the sense of peace. It connected me to my inner peace that I didn't even know was there, is what I should say. That's probably what I mean by that. What I found with yoga is that it's not just a physical practice, it is connecting mind, body, spirit, breath. And so as I practiced more regularly, I thought I was just getting a workout, a really good workout that made me feel really good. But what I noticed was all these benefits that I never even knew I needed or wanted, but I loved them. I built up this sense of self-awareness, where I was in space, just awareness of my thoughts and my feelings and my actions, just a deeper sense of self-awareness. What brought me joy? Was I breathing? Was I worrying about the past? Was I in the present moment? Um, Pretty profound. It's simple, but profound. That's what I love about yoga. It's simple, but profound. Yoga literally affects every area of my life. It brought me a deeper sense of self-acceptance. I used to have the worst body confidence. And this is a episode for another day, but I hated my body. I did not feel comfortable in my own skin. And yoga taught me to accept myself first, to feel gratitude for my body and everything it can do, and eventually to love my body and to let go of this arbitrary ideal of perfection. And again, like I said, that is a story for a whole nother day, but it brought me this self-awareness, self-acceptance, and eventually self-love. It helped me to cultivate off my mat the sense of patience, greater patience, a deeper sense of compassion and connection to others. As time went on and I got more stressful jobs and, was having a hard time sleeping as a result of that stress and worry, yoga, I came back to yoga and it helped me to manage my stress. It helped me to improve my sleep. And then again, an episode for another day, but I'd say from the time I was probably 17 through my early 30s, I probably tried every single diet fad that was out there. And in hindsight, I don't think I needed to do a single one of those. So over time, yoga taught me to trust my body, to listen to my body, and to make more conscious eating choices that served me well, so that eventually I did ditch that diet mentality and learn to trust my body to guide me in my food choices. So anyway, that was a long story for saying that yoga literally affected every single area of my life. So what I came to for just a workout affected me on so many different levels: mind, body, heart, soul, spirit. It has been so powerful. And that's why I had to share it with other people. Now, I have been wanting to create a membership space, a community space in the online world for quite some time now. It's really my passion to share these practices with other people. And I have to say, I love connecting with students in person. I love feeling the energy in the room. I love being able to look around the room and see I've got 20 different people in the room and they're all doing different things. They're all listening to their bodies and they're all doing what's right for them. It's amazing. But I have to tell you, I live out in the boonies and it's a lot easier for me to commit to an online classes these days or to commit to my own practice without guidance or even go onto YouTube. And so many of my students have expressed the same struggle. And so that is how the Zen space was born. And we'll get into more of that later on down the road. I'm actually an experienced registered yoga teacher now. I have taught over 1,000 hours of classes, believe it or not. And I've got advanced studies at the 500-hour level. So I did my 200-hour training and then I did another 300-hour training on top of that. I'm also a Yoga Alliance continuing education provider, which just means that I can teach classes to yoga teachers who need continuing education credits. I do Reiki energy healing work. I'm also a holistic health coach and a cognitive behavior life coach. And so what all that comes together to mean to me is that I guide women to trust themselves so that they can walk the path of their inner calling through this holistic path of yoga, through the art and science of yoga and coaching and energy. And it's just so fascinating. The more I learn, the more I want to learn. And I truly believe that your yoga practice should meet you where you're at, not the other way around. So I'm not interested in trying to contort you into different shapes or pretzel you into a shape your body doesn't enjoy. What I'm interested in is adapting the pose to fit your body. So yes, technique certainly is important to an extent, but as long as you're not moving in a way that could be harmful, my interest is more about how the pose feels in your body. What are you getting from this experience? How are you going to feel when you walk off your mat? Technique, that can come with time. How do you feel? How does the pose feel in your body? That's more important than how it looks from the outside. And that is something that only you can truly know. Now, through my work, I have noticed that many of my clients, many of my students struggle with similar challenges. And let me tell you, my friend, I have been my best student and my best teacher. So, how about this? Chronic stress? Check. Disconnection from my body? Check. Not trusting my intuition? Check. The sense of being stuck in unfulfilling habits and routines? Check, check. So often we feel like we are surviving. We're just going through the motions. We're not really thriving. We want this supportive community. We want guidance to help us navigate life's up and downs with greater ease and greater grace. We want to feel more satisfied. We want to feel more joy. We want to feel more connected. We want to feel more present in our day to day. So I think I already mentioned I live out in the woods. So with me living in a rural area, getting to a yoga studio can be a really time consuming endeavor. A 1 hour yoga session can easily take 2.5 to 3 hours. By the time I drive 30 to 35 minutes to get there, I like to get there 10 to 15 minutes early so I can settle in. And after class, I'm going to chat with the other students, the other teachers. And so it can easily, 1 hour class can easily become 2.5, 3 hours. And in the stage and season of my life that I'm in right now, that's oftentimes just simply not realistic. And so while I love a studio class, I love taking live online yoga classes. I still get to practice with some of my favorite teachers, but I don't have to leave my house. Now, I do love different ways of practicing at home. And I think there's a time and a place for all of them. I love YouTube yoga with Adrienne. I love her. She's one of my favorites. She was a huge influence on me. Check her out if you haven't already. I have my own YouTube space, Yoga and Wellness with Rachel, with a variety of free online yoga sessions of different lengths. I love the Down Dog app. It's so great. I can pick and choose what kind of yoga practice do I want? How long do I want it to be? And there's a time and a place for all of these. I love the app. I love YouTube. But there are times where I just want to connect with my favorite teachers in person or try a new teacher in person because I want that live experience without having to drive 30 or 35 minutes to get to a studio. And so also, not only that, but I do work full time Monday through Friday. And so for me, even though I have a great job, Monday mornings always brought this sense of kind of sadness that the weekend was over. Even though there was still the excitement for a brand new week, there was still kind of this sense of, man, I had such a great weekend. It's over. So to combat this, I started offering live mindful morning yoga sessions most Mondays from 7:45 to 8:30 a.m. at the time of this recording in my Zen Space membership. And so we'll get more into that again in a little bit. But what I found is it is truly a perfect way to start a new week off with self-care, with mindfulness. And even my fiance noticed a positive shift in my Monday moods. He said, I'm a lot happier on Monday mornings than I used to be. And that's exactly the energy that I want to provide for our community. So the idea of the Zen space came from this powerful realization that while one-on-one coaching and in-person classes are incredibly valuable, I knew that I could make an even greater impact by creating an accessible online community space where we can come together to nurture our well-being on a consistent basis. And so I finally decided I was just going to go for it, right? I love teaching yoga. I was looking for another time and space to offer a session. My students were asking for more online opportunities. And so the Zen space was born. And in crafting the Zen space, I really drew on my diverse background. And I talked about all that before, the coaching, the yoga, the energy work, all of that, along with my own personal journey of growth and self-discovery. I'm kind of a personal development junkie because I can only take my clients as far as I've guided myself, right? And so the deeper I can go, the deeper I can help my clients to go. Anyway, I really wanted to create this space that honored the wisdom of yoga in a holistic way. It's the mind-body connection. It's not just a workout. It is connecting to yourself. So the art and the science of yoga in a modern practical approach. So again, my approach to yoga is really making it simple. How can we practice yoga in a way that we can carry off of our mats and into our day-to-day lives? Because the reality is the physical practice of yoga is such a small piece of the yoga journey. There are so many different aspects to yoga. And so there's this mindfulness, there's this breath work, this self-awareness, this self-connection, this connection to a deeper consciousness. It's so empowering, it's so enlightening. And so what really sets the Zen space apart is this holistic approach to well-being. You don't only have access as a member to my growing library of on-demand yoga and mindfulness practices, but you have access to live classes along with the replays. If you can't join live, we've got a monthly intention setting practice. I love setting intentions because it helps us to connect with our core values. It helps us to know what our priorities are, and it helps us to move through our daily life from a place of intention and mindfulness rather than a place of reactivity. So monthly intention setting, super powerful, along with an amazing community. Now, another thing that I wanted to share is that I've received a lot of feedback from my students that sometimes an hour class just feels too long. And so right now, at the time of this recording, my live Zen Space classes are 45 minutes each. So I've heard that it makes it easier to fit them into a busy day. And so that's where we are right now. Now, let's talk about some of the benefits of practicing yoga regularly, because at the beginning of this, I talked about, so many of us want to either start or reconnect with a regular yoga practice, but we're having a hard time fitting it into our busy life. So some of the benefits of practicing yoga regularly, just to give us a little extra motivation, reduce stress and anxiety. I know that was big for me when I was in a super, super stressful corporate role. I don't know how I would have gotten through that without my yoga. On a physical level, better flexibility, increased flexibility and strength. We sleep better, potentially. And overall, there's often this greater sense of just better well-being, a greater sense of overall well-being. So let's go over some of the top questions that I get. How often are the live sessions? Well, right now, at the time of this recording, it is May 2024. Right now, I have live yoga sessions almost every single Monday morning from 7:45 to 8:30 a.m., and that's Eastern time. What if you can't join live? No worries. You have access to the recording and all of the previous recordings. What is my teaching style? Now, that is a good question, and I love it when people ask me that. I like to teach by invitation. I offer a variety of options throughout the practice for you to choose. You can make your practice as easy, as relaxing, or as challenging and active as you want the session to be. So I like to think of it as, I don't know, did you ever do those Mad Libs or those choose your own adventure stories? That's how I think of my yoga sessions, because you can choose based on my cues and my invitations. You can choose to make your practice as mellow or as active, as challenging as you would like it for it to be. Now, that being said, at this stage and season in my life, my style leans towards a more mellow, mindful practice rather than an intense sweat-inducing workout. So, as I said, you're free to make your practice as challenging as you want. You can add poses, you can skip poses. My style of teaching these days is very mindful and somewhat slow paced. It's not going to be a vigorous vinyasa or a power class or anything like that. It's pretty mindful. So what do you get if you sign up for a membership? Well, I think I covered this. Live online yoga classes almost every week, plus the replays, monthly intention setting practices to help us connect with our inner selves, access to my growing on-demand library. And right now, the membership is open at a special founding member rate. So it's only $22 a month. And when you arrive, you are welcome to stay as long as you want to, if it feels aligned for you, and you can cancel anytime. So Another question that I get is it beginner friendly? And the answer to that I would say is yes. I do offer options for both beginners and experienced practitioners. Now, if you are a beginner and you want to schedule a one on one session with me first online to kind of get some of the foundations, get some of the basics, we can definitely talk about that. What do you need to get started? Well, a yoga mat. You need a yoga mat. You don't have to have a mat if you don't have one, but I recommend getting one. You can also use props. I love props. And so you can use yoga blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can use thick books. I've even seen people use soup cans before. A strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can use a belt or a scarf or even a towel. You might like to have a blanket or a cushion to help you feel more supported. So those are some of the props that you might like to have. And I do really want to offer this encouragement before you start any new movement practice, no matter what it is. Please check with your healthcare provider and make sure that it's appropriate and suitable for you and your body in the stage and season that you're at right now. And always listen to your body. Your body knows you better than any teacher ever will. So don't feel like you have to move your body in a way that doesn't feel good for you because the teacher suggests it. Listen to your body first. Now, since launching the Zen space, I have to say, I have been so humbled by the incredible feedback from members. I have heard how the practices have fit perfectly into their life. This is exactly what I needed. I feel more joyful in my daily life. I feel more connected to myself. They love the accessibility of being able to join live or practice with the replay or even check out the on-demand yoga library when it fits into their schedule. Now, as I look to the future of the wellness space, I really see this world, I envision this world where practices of mindfulness, practices like yoga are accessible to all of us, where we are empowered with the tools that we need to live with a greater sense of presence, a greater sense of purpose, and a greater connection to our inner peace and to the community piece. The Zen space, I hope, is my contribution. It's my intention to offer this as a contribution to this vision. And I'm committed to continuing to expand its offerings and community to support as many individuals as possible on their journey to well-being. So give yourself a big breath. Let it back out. And I just want to share one key takeaway with you. No matter where you are on your journey, the Zen space provides a nurturing online community and holistic resource to help you reconnect with your mind, your body, and your spirit for greater well-being. If you are ready to take the next step on your journey to enhanced well-being, I invite you to consider joining us in the Zen space. Now, again, as a founding member, you'll not only have access to all of these incredible features and resources that I mentioned earlier, you'll also have the opportunity to unlock exclusive bonuses to support your growth. So, like I said, it's May right now. If you join in the month of May, you're also going to get access to my 7-day online yoga journey, Deepen Your Practice, Simplify Your Approach, where every day for 7 days, you get one yoga pose broken down or a short sequence of yoga poses. And we talk through them and we practice them so that you can build a deeper sense of connection to yourself and a deeper sense of confidence with moving through the poses, with where you're at in space. So, again, incredible bonuses. I love giving bonuses out. So, founding members, good place to be. So, I will post a link in the show notes if you want to learn more, if you want to sign up. I would love to welcome you into this yoga community. I would love to support you on your mindfulness path to a more balanced, a more fulfilling life. Now, if you are not interested in the Zen space, no worries at all. It's not the right fit for everybody, but you can check out my free yoga classes on YouTube under Yoga and Wellness with Rachel. Again, I'll post that link in the show notes and a couple of other resources that I mentioned. The Down Dog app, I love it. And Yoga with Adriene, I love it. Also, check out your local yoga studio if you prefer to practice in person. Now, I think that's about all I had to cover with you today. And I thank you so much for being here. If you are curious about the Zen space, take a peek, see what you think. And most of all, I just want you to recognize that, I said yoga is like coming back to ourselves. There's a quote that I like: yoga is the journey of the self, through the self, to the self. It's not necessarily a quick path, but as we peel back these layers, we build this deeper sense of self acceptance, self awareness, self compassion, and self love. And so, whether you choose to practice with me or whether you choose to practice with someone else, whether you choose the physical asana movement or you choose a different practice, there's meditation, there's breath work, there's so many different options with yoga. Whatever you choose, stay true to yourself. Trust yourself to guide you on the path that's right for you. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Thanks so much for tuning into the Magic Mindfulness podcast. Until next time, remember to trust yourself, trust the universe, and embrace the magic of mindfulness. And if today's episode resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe so you can receive regular doses of inspiration and practical tips for your mindfulness journey. Be sure to share this episode with a friend who could use a sprinkle of magic in their day. And don't forget to like this episode and leave a comment sharing your thoughts and experiences. Your support means the world to me as I continue spreading the magic of mindfulness. Take care, my friend, and I'll see you next time.